Cyclone MMA. Let's go ahead and talk about Thug Rose versus Carla Esparza 2 at UFC 274. What a fight. It was a chess match, but it was also a brawl, an all-out war that saw two competitors fight tooth and nail to get UFC gold. No, this fight was really bad, guys. I think I can say this is the worst MMA fight I've seen in my entire life. I don't know what could beat it, but it's definitely the worst title fight I've ever seen. I think the only fight that comes close to this is Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero, but there were still like a few moments where Romero would do something weird in that fight to kind of get my interest. This had nothing. Let's go ahead to UFCstats.com and break this down round by round and really just see how pathetic this fight is. And that sucks to say because I really like both of these fighters. But round one, Rose landed 4 significant strikes out of 19. Carla landed 4 significant strikes out of 19. That's total strikes and significant strikes. Round two, Rose lands 3 strikes, even less than the pathetic round one. Carla lands 4 and she attempts a takedown but doesn't get it. In round 3, the action starts to pick up. It's still incredibly slow, but Rose lands 11 of 36 strikes. Carla lands 9 of 32 strikes, and she goes 0 for 3 on takedowns but has a solid 2 seconds of control time. Wow. In round 4, Rose lands 7 strikes. Carla lands 8 strikes, but also gets 2 takedowns. She has 20 whole seconds of control time. Rose has a solid 2 seconds of control time in that round. Round 5 went to Rose. We can say that for certain. Rose landed 13 strikes. Carla landed 5 strikes, and Rose got a takedown with 8 seconds of control time. Those are some rookie numbers. Those are some bad numbers, and those are some numbers we should not expect from these fighters. Think about Rose Namajunas. Her last fights have been absolutely fire. She had 2 against Weili Zhang that were really fun. She had 2 against Andrade that were crazy. She had 2 against Joanna that were good. And now she has laid an egg. And the thing that puzzled me about this fight was the corner work. It's like, I don't like it when a corner lies to their fighter, and I felt that here. I honestly hope it was a lie, and I hope they don't actually think that either of the fighters were doing anything in this fight. Pat Barry's going to be biased. He's Rose's boyfriend, husband. I don't know if they're married. But then you have Trevor Whitman right next to him. And like anyone watching the fight is like, Trevor, say something to get Rose to fight. And he just kind of goes, yeah, yep. He just goes along with what Pat Barry said, basically. It seemed like he was trying to pull it out of her a little bit, but he really didn't put his foot down and say, like, Rose, you're not doing anything. You got to fight, bro. And Carla's corner is guilty of the same exact thing. Now, as for the decision, it was a split decision. Eric Cullen scored it for Namajunas, 48-47. Brad Frank scored it for Esparza, 48-47. And Rick Winter scored it for Esparza, 49-46. I don't think either fighter can be upset with the results. Like, if Rose ended up winning the decision, I don't think Esparza has the right to be upset. And I don't think Rose has, any reason to be upset with the decision other than her own performance, because if you look at the media scorecards, it's pretty split. Someone gave it a draw, some people gave it to Rose, some people gave it to Esparza. But the thing is, if you're not going out there and giving it your all, and it's kind of lackluster rounds, which was the case, you can't be upset if you lose your title off of that because you didn't go out and perform. Joe Rogan, DC, and John Anik were basically just roasting the fighters the entire fight, and I shouldn't put Anik and DC in there because it was mostly Joe Rogan basically doing a comedy set.
These are the same people that would go to baseball games and not be bored.
Kind of reminds me of when Adesanya and Romero fought.
Oh, that was way better. The rounds were going by and nothing was happening.
The thing that sucks is this isn't good for the sport. You can't have stuff like this. I think that's why there's UFC bonuses to try to get these crazy fights. Because, like, if you were to have someone over and be like, hey, let's watch some UFC. You've never seen UFC before. It's really, really good. Check it out. And this is the first fight you show them. They are never going to watch UFC again. They're never going to be interested in the sport of MMA. You've lost them as a fan. I don't mean to be a hater. I love Thug Rose. I love Carla Esparza. Cookie Monster. Great nickname. But I've got to jab when I feel it's necessary, and this is a fight that deserves to be jabbed. It was not pretty. It was not fun. It was not cool. No more of this, please. I don't think there'll be more of this. I certainly hope not. I think after being booed by thousands of people, you're probably going to fight different your next fight. But yeah, Thug Rose versus Carla Esparza. Do we want to see a trilogy? Do we want to see him fight again? I don't think so.